They will also understand that the media in which they use will affect what they do differently. For example, if I use a pencil, that I create a fine line, or if I use a marker, it can create a dark line. A crayon creates a heavy line, and that gives a different emotion or a different feeling to the process of creating the art. The piece is completed, we talk about the elements of art. We can talk about how value is used in there without them using value intentionally to create this work of art. We can talk about whether the line is expressive or descriptive, directional line. We can talk about shapes, organic, geometrical, space being the foreground and midground, negative space. Balance, is it symmetrical or asymmetrical? And repetition. If we are doing a blind contour, we may find ourselves just moving our implement around and around, or repeating a circular motion or a directional line. Lastly, we can talk about emphasis, and the placement of the object that they were drawing or sketching. I've had experiences with students where they had a specific instruction and they had an object sitting in front of them, and what was on their paper was nowhere near what the object was. And so they were bringing in their personal experience into it, which is a great thing, because then they are in that kind of art zone and they're appreciating that value of those, using those creative thinking skills when they're making a piece of art. So how do we go about assessing process art versus product art? We know, because this is a blind contour drawing, that it's unlikely to look like what we observed. After many, many tries, it would be more possible to get a conclusive product. As I mentioned before, this process is to open up creativity, to help your student to bring in their own personal style into it. Because what I observe when I'm doing a blind sketch is probably not what you observe. So we all bring in that own personal aesthetic. After, we can always talk about the elements, and we can talk about the use of line, and we can also talk about what we would do to turn this into a finished product if that was our goal. Our students learn that this is an active process, and that they can move into this process and feel comfortable knowing that however they choose to do it is the correct way of doing it.